What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And I want to go over some of the trades that happened today, both the London and New York. So we had a pretty solid day. I was able to catch a 1 to 3 and again catch a 1 to 2. I think putting us up today overall about around 1 to 3. And so I want to walk through both of the trades I took. Well, so I want to walk through the trades that I took this morning. So I'm gonna grab my replay tool and let's start over at the London session. So the first thing I want to look for is both my buy side and sell side liquidity. So I define my buy side and sell side liquidity is the high and low of the current day that we're in. So since it's London session, we just started a new day on the 7th. And so this was the highest point right here. And the lowest point at 3 a.m. was this spot. And so what I like to see taken is I like to see either buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity taken. And then I would like to see a displacement leg that creates a fair value gap before I look to enter the market. And so we got our first displacement leg right here. And it creates a fair value gap, which I should have a box. I actually entered this trade. And so this was the candle that broke. And so I'll take my fair value gap here. And this is why I'm looking for buys. I got in this trade and I got stopped out. And so I got stopped out right at the end of the session here. And so we're down 1 R on the day. And so one thing that I'm looking for now is I'm just waiting and seeing, do we have another possibility coming out during the session? And so I'm sitting here watching the candles form. And I see this huge bullish momentum coming in, taking out these highs right here and shooting up. And so I draw this trend line to where I think price is going to bounce, because if this makes a fair value gap, which it did, then I'll be looking for price to return down to the fair value gap to go up higher. It's the most likely place where I identified price bouncing was at this trend line. And so essentially I put this box. This was not a trade taken. This is just me seeing the idea plays out. Because if this idea plays out, then it gives me more confidence that price is coming back to this fair value gap to continue upward. And so we get that test right here, the trend line. After that test, we just fall straight down right into the fair value gap. And so I put my fair value gap right there, and I have my fib as the 0.5 and the 0.618. And at this rejection of the zone, I entered right here to get into a long position. And price played around for a little bit, and it started making higher highs and higher lows. As you guys know, once I get up 1 R, I like to move my stop loss to break even. It then each subsequent R, I move it up. So if I go up 2 R and that's not my take profit, then I just move my stop loss to 1 R. So as price kept ranging and going up higher and higher, I would trail it. And price got all the way up, and I trailed it right here, which is at 3 R. And price almost got to the take profit, but price fell back and tapped me out right here for a 1 to 3 gain. And then so far we lost 1 and we was up 1 to 3, so we're up 2 R right now on the day. And so now I'm just basically waiting around for New York session. So as price continues to move, I keep waiting. And for my zones in New York session, it's very similar to my zones for London. So I stopped the zone right at 8. So at 8 a.m. is when I like to collect my sell side liquidity and buy side liquidity for my New York time silver bullet strategy. And so again, sell side liquidity is my lowest point here, and buy side being the highest point of the day. And the only one that moved was the sell side. So I know this has been swept already on the sell side, and we made new lows for the day. So price keeps moving around, not really taking any side of liquidity. And soon as, of course, 8:30 hits, which is where, we got all that news on the US dollar, we get a huge break on buy side liquidity. So as soon as I get that break, the first thing I'm thinking is I need to be looking for a displacement leg. And it may take a little bit longer since there's so much momentum, but the placement leg has to be something huge for me to actually be looking to take a trade from it. As you can see, price kept going higher and higher. And as we seen this right here get broken so strongly, this wouldn't be something I'm looking to trade simply because I don't really see this as strong. I just see it as an impulsive move. But once we have this 3-candle pattern right here, as it struggles to go up, close bearish, goes up small bullish, and close huge bearish and makes a fair value gap, then I count this as a better fair value gap here. And that would be an area where I'm looking to take a trade. So as price keeps going down, I'm just waiting for the pullback. And one thing to note, as I was seeing this fall, I did see another fair value gap here. And that was the lows was taken. So the highest fair value gap that I seen over here was right there. And I was looking to take a trade in this area. So as that pulled back in, I was able to get entered. And as it fell going lower, I was able to move my stop loss. Of course, it went up 1R. I was able to move my stop loss to break even, and then it comes and taps me. And so the biggest takeaway I got from this was if I have basically like these two fair value gaps right here, the best and most optimal entry would be the higher value gap because it's more of a discounted price. I mean, our price would be at a premium for sellers. So if I was to look at this entire move, this first move right here, this fair value gap basically aligns up with the 0.5 and 0.618, meaning we're getting a great retracement, a great discount on price if price was to retrace up into this area. So I waited on price to come up. And once price came up right here, it tagged me in. So I'm looking for a 1 to 2 here. Could have possibly taken it down to this previous sell side liquidity. 1 to 4. But I'm just looking for 1 to 2 here since we got so much volatility in the market. So once price tagged me in, it did consolidate for a little bit and dance around, go up and down, and eventually price sunk. And once price sunk, it hit the take profit pretty quickly and executed us another 1 to 2 trade. So we had a loss for negative 1R, a gain for positive 3R, putting us at 2R for the day. We had a break in and another 2R trade here, putting us up 4R a day. So that's a pretty solid day. And if we click and look at current price, we can see that price did continue to fall, and we would have tapped out our 1 to 4. But again, I'm more than satisfied with our 1 to 2 trade here. And so I think the biggest takeaway from a day like this would be patience, especially with news coming out. I think taking the more optimum trades, which this trade right here wasn't the most optimum, probably a trade I shouldn't even been participated in. I was lucky that I actually kind of break even on this. But waiting on this retracement right here, and then possibly targeting a 1 to 4 would have been the better trade. So just waiting on your setup and also understand marketing conditions, I think will help you better overall with your trading, and definitely understanding price action. And so I'll be done with trading for the day. I won't trade the PM since it's Friday and it'll be closed. And so I'll probably release a video during the weekend going over some of the trades and some of the data we was able to take and what I'm getting from the data and what's my understanding. But I appreciate it, guys, and thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video.